The Paddle Testers is a woman-led paddle review series powered by honest feedback from everyday players. We are not professional players or paddle insiders. We are players with different styles and needs, focused on one thing: how a paddle feels right away in real play. We believe players should not have to adjust their game to fit a paddle. First feel matters, and the best paddle is the one that complements the way you naturally play. That is the heart of the Paddle Testers: real players, real reactions, and honest feedback. Hey, welcome to episode 5 of the Paddle Testers. We're glad you're back. We have another paddle to discuss and tell you all about, but very quickly, we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Dina. I'm the founder of the Paddle Testers. I am a reformed banger. I love to hit the ball hard, but over the last couple of years, I've really started working on and appreciating my soft game just a little bit more. I love shaping the ball. When it comes to a paddle, I play with an elongated shape. I also like a longer handle because I do a two-handed counter on the court, and so I definitely need that little bit of extra length in the handle. And I really appreciate a paddle that has what I call that plush feeling, or what is technically called the dwell time, which is just how long it feels like the ball sits on the paddle, and really helps you kind of like shape the ball and get that like height over the net. And those are the kind of the main things that I look for when I'm trying to find my next new paddle. So really quickly, I'm going to have the other testers introduce themselves, and then we're going to tell you about the paddle we tested. Kiko, why don't you go first?
I'm Kiko, and I would describe my style as more of a dinker dropper, and I look for power in a paddle so that I can get a little extra from it, and then I want something, of course, to maintain control and really get some spin and things like that on it.
Excellent. Okay, how about MBK?
My name's Melissa, aka MBK. I have an aggressive game style. I really like dink and counter, strategy type game. I really don't like the backcourt at all. I try to stay away from it as far as possible. I probably don't need a power paddle, but I always play with a power paddle, and I like a power paddle. I definitely play with a wide body, and I need a big sweet spot because I don't always hit the middle.
I love that you admit that, MBK. I love that you're like, this is probably not what I need, but it's what I love. And
it's what I want.
don't apologize for it. Like, we're being authentic here about our games and what we enjoy doing. So I love that you admit that. All right, Lindsay, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Lindsay. Very much a defensive player. So what I really look for in a paddle is something that I feel comfortable with my resets and my drop shots. And working on the power game, but it's a slow moving process. So I'm really looking for something with a soft touch, something that I feel like I can get the ball just over the net, not pop it up too much, and try and keep control of what I'm up to.
Awesome. Okay. I love that we all kind of have different game styles, and we've got some defensive and more offensive players. And that's why it's fun to kind of talk from different perspectives about these paddles, because, we enjoy them for different reasons. So in this episode, we're going to be discussing the Aireo Cyclone. It has what they call a foam pulse core. So it is a foam paddle. But I will say the thing right away that you notice is the surface is like the sandpaper that strips everything off of, like, if you're going to get out and sand something, like, you would get this just to strip everything off. Like, it is a super gritty surface. And I think that was the first thing that I noticed right away before I even touched the ball is I'm a tactile person. So I ran my hand over and I was like, wow, if I ever need an emery board, because I've got a hangnail, like, I'll just go get the Aireo and just kind of, but it is a gritty surface. So we all use the elongated shape. They did not send us a wide body or anything like that. So we were all using the same one. And again, we warm up and we play one game with our regular paddles, and then we just switch to the Aireo or any paddle. We just switch to it and we just go from there and talk about adjusting our game and our game styles. So let's kick it off. Kiko, what did you think about the Aireo?
First thing I noticed, it was pretty. I mean, it had some design on it, and so that was nice. And then when I started to use it, I like the grit as well, but when I started to use it, I noticed the noise. It's very loud, like the boomstick. So, and the other thing I noticed was for drives and so forth, it didn't have what you call dwell time. It didn't sit there for a second, you know?
Yeah.
Felt like it bounced too much. So
Okay.
therefore it got a little wild.
Well, and just to kind of be clear, we were playing indoors, and definitely the sound reverberates. And so when you've got a lot of players using like boomsticks or these very loud paddles, it does get quite loud. I think if we had taken the paddle maybe outside and had it on an outdoor court, we may not have, that may not have been our first thought right away, was like, oh, this paddle's loud, because, you know, we would have been out of doors. But playing indoors, I think we all were just noticing that right away. All right, MBK, what'd you think about Aireo?
I definitely didn't love it. It was not my paddle for sure. I don't normally play with an elongated, so that could be part of the reason. I did like Kiko. I like the horses that were on it. I thought they were kind of cool, and it had a fun design. And at one point in the video, you'll see me like making the horses travel across the net.
I love it. Okay.
So I was like, run, little horses. But it felt solid, but almost too solid to me. It felt like kind of playing with a board. And I didn't really feel any trampoline effect off of it at all. Kind of just the ball kind of died on it. It wasn't my favorite to play with. It would take me a bit, I think, to get used to it. I had problems getting, even though it was gritty, I had problems getting anything on it to get it up and over the net. So just it wasn't right for me.
Okay. And it's funny that you guys talk about the aesthetics, because they have one that has cherry blossoms on it, and I love it. Like, I love cherry blossoms. And so I was like, ooh, so pretty. So they do a good job with the aesthetics of their paddles. I'll give them that. So Lindsay, what did you think about the Cyclone?
I actually had an opposite feeling from MBK, where I thought that the trampoline effect seemed huge to me. Like, I was really, maybe I was a little bit nervous about trying it out, or it was actually my first, the paddle that I tried first, right after warming up with my normal paddle. Mm-hmm. And I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, everything was coming up really high, and I felt a little bit out of control. I did notice the sort of the big thump that it made. To me, it reminded me of the gearbox, you know, with I could hear that noise from anywhere and recognize that it was this particular paddle. Noise didn't really bother me, but I did notice it in any event. And yeah, it wasn't the paddle for me. I never could really get my shots. I never felt great about my shots with it. And, you know, I could maybe give it a few more goes to see if I get any more comfortable. But if I had a couple of other paddles to try from, I probably would choose those over the Aireo.
I was shocked by my game, because I normally look for a paddle with a big dwell time, and I don't know that this has it. But I was able to shape the ball so well, maybe because of the grit, that I found myself kind of going, like, when I was going back to my regular paddle, I was still kind of dreaming about the grit and thinking, like, maybe I need something with more grit. I hit some wicked angles when I was playing with it. I mean, and they're normal angles that I go for, but the ball just, it like grabbed it, was like, whew, it just shot it off the paddle. And I really liked that about it. Like, I really enjoyed that. So I was kind of surprised, because again, I don't know that it had that dwell that I normally am so looking for, but I was able to shape the ball really, really well. I don't feel like I had to adjust my game a whole lot. Like, I feel like my shots were landing, my serves were in, and I do a big, deep serve. And so I'm, because I go for that baseline every time, it's so easy for me just to overshoot that. And trying these new paddles, sometimes that's the first thing, like, I hit that serve and I'm like, that was way out, you know? But I felt like the serves were just kind of landing, maybe because I'm such a heavy top spinner. It just increase that even more. I did look the paddle up. It is not UPA certified. It is USA Pickleball certified. And you know, for those of you who don't know about paddles and you're playing in tournaments and stuff, these are two different governing boards. And if you're going to be playing like in a PPA hosted tournament or something like that, you have to have a UPA approved paddle. So it looks like you would not be able to utilize this paddle in one of those tournaments, but other ones that are USA certified, you can use this paddle. Most of us play in local tournaments and we don't really, you know, they'll say, you know, paddles that are on this list are okay. They're not going to be testing them. They're not really going to be like, you might have a referee that checks your paddle or something like that. But that's just something to think about if you are a big time tournament player or you plan on getting into playing tournaments, is make sure you're looking for those certifications and the paddles you're going to be, or the tournaments you're going to be playing in. Anybody else like feel like they had to make a huge adjustment to keep the ball in play, or?
I felt a little out of control as well, so I couldn't keep it in the court very well.
Okay.
Lindsay?
Kiko or MBK, I forget when we were testing these, was this paddle the first paddle that either of you used?
Yes.
It was.
I think so. I think it was
that,
my first
that
too.
made make a difference as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I definitely had the jitters, so I don't want to say that it's like definitely not the paddle for me. I for sure was feeling the nerves, but yeah, I didn't. I wasn't satisfied with the height at which my ball was going over the net. It was going up too high, and I was being punished for it. So
Yeah.
it was pretty puffy.
You know, and I have felt that way with a lot of the foam paddles that, you know, that I've played with in the past. They seem a little stiff, and it seems like that ball sort of pops up a little high. And yeah, admittedly, I've avoided foam paddles for that reason, because I'm just, you know, I don't want to get punished. I don't want my partner to get punished for my mistakes. So I completely agree with you. Like, if you have that uncomfortable feeling, you might drop that paddle and not even give it another try. So I'm glad to hear that you would at least maybe take her out for another test drive when you're, you know, you have the opportunity. Yeah. Okay. Any other last thoughts before we give our final judgment?
I think I on the opposite scale, like I felt like it didn't have enough pop or go over enough. So it's so funny you guys are saying that, because it was exactly opposite how I felt. And I watched you play with it, Dina, and I was amazed. You were playing really good with it, and I was like, wow, okay, like how different paddles go with different people. Because it wasn't my paddle, and I didn't care for it, and I was excited about kind of the end of the game when I could switch to another paddle, because I wasn't playing great, you know, when you have that. And sometimes we blame our paddle when we shouldn't. That could have been it.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of kept dreaming about it. It's so funny. Like I went back to my regular paddle, and I'm just like, oh, I kind of missed that grit. So
well, it is funny, because like I said, I towards the end of the game, I was like, I got to be done with this paddle, because I'm not getting anything over like I like, and I'm not. And then to watch you play with it, I was like, oh wow, yeah. So I think that's just an interesting thing, that everybody kind of needs a little something different in their paddle and what they can do with it. So, but yeah, I didn't care for it from the beginning, and maybe Lindsay's right that it was about trying a paddle at the beginning, but I think it's just really different than what I play with. And I mean, I'd definitely be willing, after watching you guys play with it, be willing to maybe try it again and see if I couldn't get something more on it. But it's so funny how different you guys thought it was than I was, because I just couldn't get it up and over. Like I couldn't get it over the net really, because I felt like it just, I don't know. So.
Well, and I don't know your game just totally well, but I hit with so much topspin, like the grit just sort of like naturally lends itself to that. And so maybe that's why I had just better success than maybe somebody who doesn't like create a lot of top. And this is from tennis. Like the topspin comes from my former life as a tennis player. And so that's something that I've integrated. And so the grit just really helped me shape that up and over type of ball. So, but I don't hit with a lot of slice, and you hit with a lot of slice. So definitely something to think about is how your play style, and not every paddle is going to match your play style.
Not every paddle.
That's just what it comes down to. So, all right. So final judgment, love at first dink. Would maybe try it again with, give it a little bit more time, or hard pass?
I'm going to say hard pass.
Okay.
I'm a hard pass too, for sure.
Hard pass. All right.
I would try it again. I would give it another go.
All right. Well,
but I would.
like I said, I'm love at first dink, and I'm
Nice.
sad that I couldn't take it with me that day and keep playing with it because I really enjoyed the paddle a lot. I'm going deaf in my left ear, so I don't love how loud it is. Like, I have tinnitus so bad from all the indoor play. I would love for it to be a little bit quieter, but so I did have like, you'll notice between my first and second game, I did put a headphone in my left ear to sort of soften or dampen the sound. But for how it played, I really did love it a lot. So, all right. Well, thank you all for joining us and for giving us your hot take on the Aireo Cyclone. And hopefully we'll see you all back for the next episode. Have a good evening.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.